Disclaimer, I just got finished editing this episode of Dragon Age, and I'm going back and putting this at the very beginning. This entire episode, okay, 98% of this episode, and that is not an exaggeration of the percentage, takes place entirely in the camp and talking to NPCs, just exhausting dialogue. I am not kidding. No fights take place, no real exploring or anything. Like, it's just I can't even call it a lore dump episode. I mean, you can kind of consider. Whatever. Just the warning off the bat. Just the talky talk episode. Oh, dear God. Yes. Very interesting, doggo. So I thought about it for a second, and I'm like... I tried to think back to what I did for my Mass Effect LP. And what I did, at least I think I did, it's hard to remember like what I did for the Mass Effect LP versus what I did in just casual play. And what I think I did was I exhausted the dialogue with every companion and then did, what's the word? Critical path mission. Yeah, that's the word. And then came back and exhausted the dialogue after it to see if they had anything specific to that. So let's go around and exhaust the dialogue for literally everybody here. Starting with Rock 2. The rockiest of all. Rock 2. Oh boy. What's Sten and Rock 2? Okay. Better get back away slowly. Oh, come on. I picked that because I was wanting to see it. Would have been like a skit. Stupid Dragon Age. Rock 2 digs furiously in the ground at your feet. Trying to find a way through the earth, are we? Stop that. You're making a mess. Bad dog. Ignore Rock 2. Trying to find a way through the earth. He goes back to digging. It's going to take some time, Oh, don't be silly. You'll just mess up the campsite. Alright, have fun then. Rock 2 ignores you and keeps digging. Ignores what? I said have fun. Did he ignore my command to have fun? Wags his tail happily. Rolls around happily. Yeah, we need to get this dog a flea collar. I assume that's exhausted. Back to Wynn, because we went through like 20 things with Wynn.
What's on your mind?
I guess we exhausted these too. Are you feeling better now? Wait, I was thinking about being a Grey Warden. I'd like to ask you something about the Circle. You feeling better now?
Oh, yes, and thank you for asking. I'm feeling much better today.
I suppose you were just tired then, like you said. I like making sure all my companions are well. If you don't keep up, we might have to leave you behind. Please let me know if there's anything I can do.
Well, thank you for your kindness, my dear. It certainly warms these rickety old bones.
Look, Wynn, I ain't trying to go in on you for being old. You need to stop laying me up like this.
What's on your mind?
Okay, I was just thinking about being a Grey Warden.
Is something troubling you?
I don't know. It's just difficult sometimes. Everyone expects so much of me. Sometimes I wish I could go back to my old life. You mean trapped in the Circle? F that. No, I think it was the best thing that happened to me. Everyone expects so much.
No one said it would be easy. You are one of the 2 surviving Grey Wardens in Ferelden. You defend all of us, and much rests on your shoulders. It may not mean much to you, but thank you for having the courage to continue to fight.
Bro, I wish Alistair, my senior in Grey Wardenhood, wouldn't have passed the buck off to me. Let's say, I will be ready when the time comes. I don't give up easily.
And that gives me hope.
Cool.
Have you heard much about the Grey Wardens of old?
I know there weren't more. Wait, I know they were more respected in the old days. What's there to hear? Only what I've heard from the old tales. I know that they soared through the skies on. Yeah, I read that in the tooltips.
Griffins. Alas, that seems to be the only thing people remember from the tales. The mighty flying mounts that bore the Grey Wardens into battle.
Well, wish I had a griffin. There's nothing grand or special about the Wardens now. Imagine raining death upon your enemies. How glorious.
Yes, the glory days. It was said that watching the Wardens ride in on their white griffins was enough to rouse a weary heart and put the dance back in the step of an old man. The Grey Wardens were powerful, feared and respected, but they also inspired the common people. I remember a tale that was told to me many years ago.
Alright, here we go. I have no time for stories. You're not going to tell it now, are you? Does the story have griffins in it?
Maker's mercy, it's like talking to a child.
Hey, I'm not Alistair, alright? Well, you are old enough to be my grandmother. So, does it have griffins in it or not? If it doesn't have griffins in it, I don't want to hear it.
Yes, there are griffins in this story. The Blight had ravaged the land for months, and the armies of the great kings had amassed for one last stand. As the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky above, it illuminated a vast, seething horde of darkspawn, with the archdemon at its head. And it was then, when courage seemed to fail, and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came. They arrived with the beating of wings like mighty war drums, and stood before the armies of men.
And then what happened? Griffins?
Yes, griffins. Now listen to the rest of the story. The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between the men and the encroaching darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line until the archdemon was dead and the last darkspawn lay trampled in the dirt. And then, demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice, the Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds finally rolled back and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the great kings knew that they had lost no men, and none of their blood had been spilled.
I like happy endings. Nonsense. Both sides always take losses. When did this happen?
This is a tale about no battle the Grey Wardens have fought, and yet about them all. They have always defended us from the Darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. People may have forgotten over the centuries, but nothing has changed. This knowledge has been blessing and burden to Grey Wardens past, and now it shall be your blessing and your burden.
Bro, Wynn's voice, it sounded like she was whispering to me. It must be the volume I got, because it sounded like she was trying to do some ASMR. You are too old for this, Wynn.
What's on your mind?
As a Grey Warden, I'll never lead a normal life, will I?
No, you won't.
And that makes me sad. Wow, you're blunt. I could try, but it wouldn't work. But I don't think I was ever meant to be normal.
I don't think so either. You would not have been happy living a dull, uneventful life, dying in obscurity. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
A little.
When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
And this upsets you? Wait, does that say grass or grows? Oh wait, grass is always green on the other side.
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers.
Did you find anything?
I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things, but she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
And that made you feel better. I think she's right. Only the weak accept their fate. Ah, can't get enough of that religious claptrap. Wait, what? I'm saying it.
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
All this sappy nonsense is going to make me throw up. Blech. I suppose priests have to give a lot too. Oh, give up a lot too.
The revered mother had lived in the chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty. And there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
Blech. Yeah, all this sappy stuff really gonna make me thought. That doesn't sound healthy. Would you hate me if I said you were full of rubbish?
No, I wouldn't. As I mentioned, I once thought the same thing of someone else. You can scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden, or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
Next.
What's on your mind?
Oh, thank God, we're almost out. I'd like to ask you something about the circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
No. Look at all the options. Why didn't you want to stay at the tower?
The circle is in good hands. Irving knows what to do, and he doesn't need me underfoot. For now, I will support those that battle the Darkspawn. I do feel I left things unfinished in Ostagar. There is so much left to do, and I would be part of it.
Oh, right, you were at Ostagar. But you left the children.
Yes, I did leave them. But if the Blight is not stopped, all of them will face suffering greater than what was seen in the tower. The Grey Wardens, all 2 of you, need all the help you can get. I will see this through to the bitter end, and after that, if I am still left standing, then I will return to the circle.
I was gonna say, I like how all of these people have joined us. Not a single one of these mofos become a Grey Warden. I am sure you will be able to return if you so choose. I wanted to make sure you really wanted this.
No, of course I don't. I'm old and unsure of what I'm doing. Actually, I'd rather be in a warm chair in the sun, being served pudding or some other easily digestible food.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way. I'm just asking a question. There's no need to be snide. Well, that can be arranged.
Well, get on it then, and make sure there's a blanket in my chair, and that it's soft, and that the pudding doesn't have cream on it. Cream gives me gas.
Jeez, I felt like I've spent my entire life. No, wait, Wynn's entire life talking to her.
What's on your mind?
Circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
Did you take away? Alright. How did you become a mage? Wait, what? She was born a mage, wasn't she?
People don't become mages. They are born mages. The talent just surfaces later. But you are asking how I ended up at the Circle. I was brought there by the Templars, just like many of the other apprentices. I don't remember very much. I was very young then.
What about your family?
I didn't have a family. I never knew my real parents. My earliest memory was of hiding in a hayloft on a farm, trying to keep warm. I was found, and the farmer's wife was kind enough not to send me away. But they had children of their own, and I was never made to feel welcome. The eldest son was the worst. He was always calling me a stray, and throwing anything he could get his hands on at me. And I don't know how it happened, but one day, he just found his hair on fire. Fortunately, there was a large trough nearby.
Serves him right. Was he seriously hurt? He was lucky. I would have done much worse.
And you would have seen yourself trussed up like a festival turkey and paraded about the square for it. Village folk have little love for witches like us. Thankfully, all I had to endure was a few nights locked in a cold barn with a bowl of water and a crust of bread. The Templars arrived several mornings later.
What happened when you arrived at the tower? What a terrible experience for a child.
The barn kept me safe from the village children and the stones they would hurl at me. I was afraid, yes, but it could have been much worse. I'll never forget the moment the Templars led me into the entrance hall of the tower. I had never seen anything so grand in my life. I stopped being afraid then. I knew I was home.
That's a great story. I felt the same way when I came to the tower. Yeah, I'll pretend that's our backstory.
We were the lucky ones. I learned very quickly that for every apprentice in the tower, there was probably one who never even lived to see the Templars come. No child, not even a mage child, is a match for an angry mob trying to place blame for a failed crop, a hard winter, a baby born dead.
I mean, you see the range of my sleep spell? I'm pretty sure I could take on a mob. Chain lightning exists. I suppose I am lucky. That's terrible and sad. Those people should know better. But the mage could be responsible. F that.
Superstition and fear is what makes these people behave in this manner. It will be a good long time before that changes. Well, that's about all there is to my tale. That's how I came to the circle.
You know, I'm currently fighting the mic stand. So, if there's a bunch of, like... Wait, I think I got it. Nope, never mind. Wait. Yes! It's been a while since I left the tower. There's nothing else I want to discuss right now.
It has been almost a year, hasn't it? Do you miss the tower at all?
It's been almost a year? What? Okay. Yeah. Yes. It was my home for so long. I'm gonna roleplay as somebody who gave a crap about being locked up in the tower.
You can take a mage out of the circle, but you can't take the circle out of the mage. Or so Irving used to say. He was joking, but there is some truth to the statement. A mage never really leaves the circle, and for the rest of your life you will be seen as a circle mage.
Nah, I'm a Grey Warden.
But you will always be a mage, especially in the eyes of others. You represent both mages and Grey Wardens, and your actions may reflect well or badly on both groups. Remember that.
I will try. Thank you for your advice.
Oh, but listen to me go on. You started to death and despair. That the Grey
Wait, you start a conversation and I just run away with it, don't I? What? What just happened? Yo, there's a bunch of mods that are like fix bugs in Dragon Age Origins. Can't use them. No more mods. No more mods. At least you don't repeat yourself like other old people. Not run. Wait, not run so much as hobble. I'm glad you take your time to counsel me.
I've been mentoring apprentices for so long, it's become something I do unconsciously. I don't know if I could stop even if I wanted to.
Moderate willpower. Moderate willpower. I mean, oh. Minor bonus? Moderate bonus. And is a plot ability. You don't... Wait, no, yeah, she needs willpower. I was like, she only needs a bigger pull for her magic, not damage. But that's what willpower is.
What's on your mind?
Okay, circle.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
We got one... Oh, wait, never mind. Okay, cool. That's all win. Jesus Christ. That's all the dog, and that's all win. Alistair. Wait, why did we start with win? Let's go in order of how they were recruited from now on.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
Jesus. What can a Templar do exactly?
Essentially, they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend. But don't let them fool you. They're an army. The other main purpose for a Templar is, of course, to hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So couldn't others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together.
4. So you were addicted to this lyrium?
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
Yeah, lucky you.
What do you need? Ask away.
Can you teach others to be a Templar?
I suppose I could. But I really would rather not. When the Grand Cleric let Duncan recruit me, she made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets outside of the Chantry. I'd rather not go back on my word.
Is that not what you did? Very well, I respect your word. You don't think this is important? And what if I order you to do it?
Order away. Suddenly you're my commanding officer? You don't need my Templar secrets to defeat the Darkspawn. Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is not something small you're asking, after all.
I'm not even a friggin' person who could learn it, so I don't care.
What do you need? Ask away.
Wait a minute.
I already said...
Aw. Wait, disappear. I want to say something. Or stay there forever, jeez.
Yeah. What do you need? Ask away. I already said I wouldn't. The answer is still no.
Huh. I thought I could farm negative points.
What do you need? Ask away.
What is this at the top? Tell me more about the Grey Wardens.
Such as they are.
What? What does that mean? Oh my god. Down the list.
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Did I just hear something fall? The answer was yes, and I've completely forgot what the hell we asked Alistair, and I don't care. Is there a headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfells, 1,000 miles from here, but I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
There's that one peak in the DLC, but no, don't pay attention to that. So what happens now that there are just 2 of us?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
Will we need to start rebuilding the Order?
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining. or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
What would happen if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere. About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need? Ask away.
Oh, God. Oh, wait, we already exhausted. Why are these still here, then? So, did you become a Grey Warden? Wait, how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
I mean before that. Haha, very funny. If you don't want to answer, then don't say so. Don't be an idiot.
I do my best. What can I say? Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem like the religious sort. So you mentioned before. What skills might those be?
It's really for the best. I'm not exactly the Chantry type, if you haven't noticed. I don't think I would have made a very good Templar. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
You think Duncan took pity on you? You think, this is better than being a Templar?
Oh, I suppose the Chantry life is good enough for some. Here, we have the chance to fight against the Blight. To actually do some good instead of sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
I shouldn't have brought it up. I'm sorry. Don't start crying again, please. He was a good man.
He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
No, you ain't.
What do you need? Ask away.
So, you said Al Eamon raised you.
Oh, did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact.
Hilarious. That's not what I remember you telling, Flemeth. That would explain the smell.
Well, it wasn't until I was 8 that I discovered you didn't have to lick yourself clean. Old habits die hard, you know.
So, does the Darkspawn... Wait. So, does a Darkspawn horde, I'm told. I thought the Chantry would have beat that out of you. Uh-huh. Slobbering dogs, I see.
Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on the cold, hard ground, isn't it? Are you having strange dreams?
Only ones where the world is filled with threatening... where the world is threatened by Darkspawn. Yes, they all involve strangling you.
You would do violence upon me? I am shocked and dismayed. The dogs would never threaten me like this, you know. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Al Eamon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Why did he send you off to the Chantry? He wasn't your father? So you know who he is? Wait, so you know who is?
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Al Eamon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Arl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
You were probably luckier than most orphans. Wasn't it inappropriate for the Arl to raise an orphan?
Probably. It was just a kindness he did to a woman who had served him anyway. I didn't sleep on silk sheets in the keep or anything. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Arl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
Bro, I swear we've had this conversation before. This exact same one. Hold on. Maybe I load it back. Huh. And you think the Arl will help us? Are you sure he isn't your father?
Yes, I'm quite sure. At any rate, I don't look anything like him. You'll see for yourself. Not that it stopped the rumors any. All I know is that the Arl is a good man and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Next.
What do you need? Ask away.
Tell me about the Grey Warden. Why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
I thought Templars wore heavy plates mostly. In that case, you should have become a mage.
Oh, you aren't kidding. I think the Templar uniforms are as colorful as they are just so the Templars didn't feel dull in comparison. Last thing you want when you're about to take down some Maleficar out in the woods is to have him point and laugh at your taste in clothing, am I right?
Oh, you. We have fun here. We have fun here. Darkspawn, the Blight, Archdemon, we have fun here. We have fun. And what's the real reason? It seems like that might have happened anyway. Yeah.
Oh, ow, ow. Stab wounds to the pride are the worst. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
I do really want to know, yes. Then make something up. More exciting.
You know, I like the way you think. But I guess if you're really curious, there's no harm in obliging. I have a couple of interesting-looking moles I can show you later, too, if you're interested. The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Arl Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
What did you enjoy about the training? Enjoyed hunting mages, did you?
No, I never got that far. I mostly learned about discipline and training my mind to use the abilities that Templars have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
I'm role-playing that it's the Circle.
But it's not your home anymore, right? You can never go back for good. I think I understand how you feel. We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Though that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way.
Wait, what? That's assuming we even survive. They can be rebuilt.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Indeed. And we made up the 5 we lost. Hey, you should be telling me that I'm the one in charge and then get pissy with me, Alistair. Morgan was the next person recruited.
What do you wish of me?
Aw, I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Can you teach others to become shapeshifters? I already did that. Did you grow up in the Kakari Wilds?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
You could if you wanted. I'm curious. What's wrong with that? Fine, I will leave you be. It's my favorite way to annoy you.
Would it not be easier simply to poke at me with a stick?
I could give it a whirl. How about I use a large club instead?
I think I will elect to answer the question for now, if you do not mind. What is it you asked if I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
And you remained unnoticed. But you kept going back to the wilds. I have a hard time picturing that.
Would you not do the same? Your world is an unforgiving and cold place. The wilds I hail from is home to me, and I a natural denizen. For all that I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
You must have looked quite the fool. Very daring. Wait, that sounds like you. I can just imagine. Were you hurt? I can just imagine.
I rather doubt that. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be traveling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
That was quick thinking. What happened to the poor man? I'm supposed to be surprised you're a good liar.
I do not know how well I lie, but I will do whatever I must in order to survive. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
You mean handshaking? I have no idea. I'm not human. Touching? Like a handshake?
To begin with, yes. What is the point of touching my hand? I find it an offensive intrusion. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Yet here you are. You can go back if you like. I guess the joke's on you then. Well, I'm glad it worked out this way, at least.
Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Frickin' Morgan.
What do you wish of me?
Something.
If you must.
Have you ever been haunted by the Chantry?
My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Fun? You found it fun?
I found the game fun. I was too young to understand the truth behind what was happening. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Did you kill them all?
Me? No, I never did any of the killing until later. And even then, Flemeth was a glutton for that sort of thing. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
Does you regret having any of those... Wait, does you regret hurting any of those men at all? What exactly is an apostate? They probably thought you were dangerous, with good reason. Do you still think that was fun? They got what they deserved. What? Huh.
I think that my mother made it fun so that a child did not learn to fear. And I think that it was necessary. There are no trials for apostates, no prisons, no mercy. There are only absolutes, so only survival matters. If the wilds have taught me anything, 'tis this. First, you must survive. Do you disagree?
Absolutely. Wait, there are worse things than death. That's a pathetic justification. You're probably right. I have no opinion on the matter. Nah, worse fate than death.
Oh? I would ask what exactly, but I'm certain that would be a lengthy conversation, and suddenly I grow very weary. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
Oh no, not more Morgan disapproval.
What do you wish of me?
Something.
You must.
Flemeth.
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
An old woman, a powerful Maleficara, a nutty old bat, a human. Nutty old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
Literally nothing. I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Ah, I see. That does explain much. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
Sounds interesting. Alright, but make it quick. And the point would be... Alright, fine.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful. A fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago is this? Yes, I've heard this part.
Many centuries before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the bard and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
He sold his wife to another man. Flemeth must have been angry. Seems like a fair deal. He sold his wife?
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
She spoke to spirits, or demons. But wasn't she now married to a wealthier man? So she truly loved Osen then?
That was not the point. Conabar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conabar's allies chased Flemeth, you see, chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Of course, Flemeth would say that. Which, she never invaded or he never defeated her.
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Oh, jeez, all these options. I do believe your... Wait, do you believe her version? How is it that Flemeth has survived for so long? The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters. Yeah.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
So, it's just not canon in the current conversation that you have the book. Alright. Why would she refuse to speak of them? Do you believe her version? How is it that Flemeth has survived so long? Aren't abominations usually insane horrors?
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
Do you believe her version? An interesting story. Thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
There's nothing really to say about her. I love her. What else do you want to know? Keep your curiosity to yourself. Bro, I don't even know her.
Nothing. I wish to know nothing more. I find myself a little envious, to tell the truth. But it matters not. Let us move on.
+6 approval. Oh my god. Net gain, bro. Net gain. And now let's lose it.
What do you wish of
Because it's freaking Morrigan.
if you must?
That's it. Alright.
What do you wish of me?
I'm pretty... If I'm not mistaken, I think if you ask her something personal, if you don't... Like, you have to go through a... affection? I forget what it's called. Check? And if you aren't past a certain level, that this will just give you disapproval.
We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
I must have passed it. Why are you still here?
Because I need your help with my mother, of course. Why else? Why? Do you wish me to leave? I can do so if you prefer.
I want you to go. No, I don't want you to leave. Do you want to leave?
If I wanted to leave, then I would go. I remain, so do not ask such pointless questions.
Oh no, not -10. Told you I'd lose it. To Sten. No, wait. We recruited Liliana next.
Have I ever told you I really like the way you wear your hair?
It's unique because of a mod. My hair? Thank you. No, I don't believe you have. It's just hair. Really? It's so stubborn sometimes.
It's very nice and it suits you. Simple. Not like the elaborate hairstyles we wore in Orlais. They involved flowers, ribbons, jewels. One year, feathers were all the rage, and Lady Elise decided she needed to outdo everyone else and actually wore live songbirds in her voluminous hair. The chirping was quite charming for a while, but you must realize, terrified little birdies often have loose bowels.
Yo. I didn't need that. I didn't need that, Liliana. Why are you telling me this? Dear Maker. Poor birds. Poor Lady Elise.
Yes, you can imagine what she looked like by the end of the evening. But I was trying to say something nice to you, wasn't I? Oh, forgive me. My mind wanders so. It's just that I feel so comfortable talking to you. Like I could say anything and you wouldn't judge me.
Do I roleplay as somebody who doesn't judge people? I mean, I've not stopped judging Morrigan. Huh. Have I judged Wynn? Huh. No, we try to avoid calling Wynn old as much as possible. I prejudged Sten based on my old playthrough. God, I freaking hate Sten and Morrigan. I mean, I guess I never prejudged Liliana. Well, we're friends, aren't we? And I actually do like, wait, the way you ramble. Wouldn't I? Maybe I just keep that to myself. Aha. You're mistaken. You are far too frivolous for my liking. Wait, what? Yo, I can't follow the plot here. Sure, I like Liliana's rambling. Do I? That's like I'm trying to think. If she's rambled before, I can't remember it. That was like the first time she did.
You see? This is what I mean. You're such a pleasure to talk to. I haven't felt this close to anyone in a long time. I really enjoy your company.
For the record, like, straight up, there's only one lesbian option in Dragon Age Origins. And guess who it is? Guess who it is? That's right, Morrigan back there. And we ain't gonna get it. I'm kidding. It's obviously Liliana, who we gotta end up with, period. So, play into it. You are a treasured friend, Liliana. And, wait, and do you often enjoy the company of other women? I think you're getting the wrong idea. Right, enough of that. Let's talk about my hair some more. Yo, that's the option. That's the option. But hold up. Are you a lesbian?
And what would you do if I said I do? Very much so, in fact.
I think I might giggle. Maybe look coy. I think I might tell you not to get the wrong idea about me. I'm flattered that you like my my company then. Wait, what?
Huh? You must do that then. Perhaps later when I'm not prepared for it. Surprise me. Come then, let's get going. If I recall correctly, you have some important earth-shattering business to attend to.
Warden X Liliana. This summer. Okay, last thing I remember is revealing the secret of Origins. AKA that Liliana is our only option. But hey, don't feel bad, Liliana. A lot of people settle. I mean, you're so lovely.
Yes? Something you need?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Don't be a lot of options. Huh. Only one. How did you decide to come to Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
What happened to your mother? Why did she leave Ferelden then? Was she not happy in Orlais?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecilie let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecilie than my mother.
Yo, what the hell happened? More memories of my mother. Huh. It was like another clip began to play there. Do you remember nothing of your mother? You were young. It's understandable. What was Cecilie like? It's too bad. She's gone.
She was an elderly lady, very refined and proper. She had impeccable manners and taste, more so than a lot of Orlesian ladies. Cecilie was also kind. My mother was unmarried and with child. It was scandalous, and Cecilie had every right to turn my mother out. She didn't. Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes, small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andrastis Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
No change is good change.
Yes? Something you need?
Blah blah blah. Wait, let me talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Do you miss anything about Orlais?
I miss Val Royeaux. Unlike other cities where the people are the lifeblood and the character, Val Royeaux was her own person, and her people little more than decorations. There was always music in Val Royeaux, streaming from the many windows, quiet refrains and triumphant choruses, and always, floating above that all, the chant, coming from the Grand Cathedral. It was magnificent.
Is that all? It sounds wonderful.
Oh, it would take me a day or two to talk about the many splendors of Orlais, her golden fields, her lush meadows. Of course, there are good things and bad things about Orlais, like anywhere else. Sometimes I miss it dearly, and sometimes I'm glad I'm rid of it. And you will laugh at this, but I miss the fine things I had in Orlais.
What sort of things?
Dresses, fine dresses and furs, and shoes, of course. One can't mingle with nobility with bad shoes, you see. Orlais is very fashionable, almost ridiculously so. But the shoes, living with those ridiculous trends was worth it for the shoes.
Uh-huh. What's so special about shoes? Shoes are shoes. They're just... Wait. They're just kept... Wait. Ugh. Reading. There. Okay. There. Okay. I think that was tripping up. They're there to keep your feet dry. Oh, I love shoes. Okay. We're role playing.
When I left Orlais, the fashion was shoes with delicate tapered heels and embellishments in the front. A ribbon, perhaps, or embroidery. In soft colors, of course. It was spring.
You've lost me. Oh, that sounds so lovely. Wouldn't that be hard to walk in? Must have cost a lot of gold. Oh, so lovely.
I had my eye on a pair my shoemaker was working on. It was covered in pale blue silk with amber beads on the toe. The shoes made in Orlais were exquisite. Not at all like these clunky fur-lined leather boots you have in Ferelden. Ugh, just look at them.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was spacing out. I know, right? Ah, so ugly and shapeless.
They're sturdy shoes, but sometimes a girl just wants to have pretty feet. Oh, I could talk about shoes all day, but we have things to do, don't we?
Yeah, especially since I've just been zoning out of this conversation. Hey. You and me, May?
Yes? Something you need?
Ask you something.
Yes. What's on your mind?
Nothing. Yes. Alright, that's all, Liliana. So we have Sten. Alright, let's get 99 disapproval.
Yes,
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised.
Yo, fuck you. Actually, never mind. Why did you come to Ferelden?
To answer a question,
Okay. What was that question? You came all the way here for that. What was the answer?
were you not at Ostagar when the army was overwhelmed? That is your answer.
Don't you have to report back then?
Yes.
So, what are you still doing here then? When are you going to do that? Well, I can see you're right on top of that.
I cannot go home.
Why not? Well, you can stay with us?
Thank you. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
Let's go. I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on.
I have a question.
I am hardly surprised. Very well.
Something you mentioned? That just leads to a dead end. You should leave is just negative points. That's it? Really?
Speak, then.
Okay, yeah.
Then I suggest we
Sten's
move on.
done.
As you wish.
Oh, cool. Sten. Wait, what the freak is that number? 9? Strength. Ew, that's not tank-oriented. Okay, Zevran. You're the newest. And the last.
Here I am.
Indeed. Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the Crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training, the sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is a desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
So, have you become... Wait. So you have to become a murderer. Doesn't take any special skills.
I don't know about that. It's simply a slightly different skill set from your average killer as I see it. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
That sounds like it could be useful. I'd prefer to be straight up in a battle. I prefer straight up battle. You always use poisons then.
I do. It is not something inherent in an assassin's skills, however, merely something complementary. Of course, the crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we?
That reminds me of something. I think we need to go talk to Morrigan. Because I think Zevran reminded me of something. Hold on.
I await your command.
Or better yet, Alistair reminded me of something. So life in the wilds must have been very lonely. Wait, where did this come from? What?
At times, perhaps. A world full of people and buildings and things was all very foreign to me. If I wished companionship, I ran with the wolves and flew with the birds. If I spoke, 'twas to the trees.
And did they speak back? And that seemed normal to you. But you eventually left. That sounds wonderful.
For a time. But one can only remain a child for so long. I recall the first time I crept beyond the edge of the wilds. I did so in animal form, remaining in the shadows and watching these strange townsfolk from afar. I happened upon a noblewoman by her carriage, adorned in sparkling garments the likes of which I had never before seen. I was dazzled. This, to me, seemed what true wealth and beauty must be. I snuck up behind her and stole a hand mirror from the carriage. 'Twas encrusted in gold and crystalline gemstones, and I hugged it to my chest with delight as I sped back to the wilds.
So, you were a thief. I can't imagine Flemeth was pleased. What happened then?
She was not. Flemeth was furious with me. I was a child and had not yet come into my full power, and I had risked discovery for the sake of a pretty bauble. To teach me a lesson, Flemeth took the mirror and smashed it upon the ground. I was heartbroken.
But you were just a child. I have a hard time picturing you heartbroken. Flemeth was right. No doubt. Nah, you just a kid.
And a foolish one. Flemeth was right to break me of my fascination. Beauty and love are fleeting and have no meaning. Survival has meaning. Power has meaning. Without those lessons, I would not be here today, as difficult as they might have been.
I feel sorry for you. But you don't need to live that way any longer. They made you stronger, didn't they? Those are harsh lessons to teach a child. Yo, we're just gonna lose this approval. F that.
Sorry? There is no need to feel sorry for me. What is there to be sorry for? To return to your original question, perhaps my time in the wilds was indeed lonely, but such was how it had to be. I find myself at times wondering what might have become of the girl with the beautiful golden mirror, but such fantasies have no place amidst reality.
Huh, we didn't lose anything. Well, anyway, the reason I came over
I
here
await your command.
is because... this?
So, full of questions, are you?
What? Shapeshifting.
Possibly, if I had the desire to. I do not.
Bruh. Perhaps you had better find the desire then. I should have known you'd be a selfish... And why not? As you wish. Anyway, I think I have to raise her... what the hell is this called anyway? This. Approval. I think once they reach a certain approval, each one of our party members has a specialization. So like... wait a minute. I have it? Oh. Huh. Wait, what? Oh, I must have did it off screen or something. I don't remember doing that. But I'm pretty sure I got this from Morrigan. And we can get Templar from Alistair at a certain point. We can get Assassin from Zevran. I don't know if Bart's a thing from Liliana. Sten? I don't know. Win? Arcane Healer? Spirit Healer from Win, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, back to Zevran.
Here I am.
Can you teach? Yeah, that's it. This right here.
Oh, I certainly could, but I won't. I swore to the crows that the things they taught me were to remain a secret. And while, yes, they are already angry at me, I'd rather not push things, you see.
You don't think that's important? What if I ordered you to do it? Well, we know it turns out from that. Fine.
If you are truly insistent, well, let me think about it. The crows are already angry at me, yes? Who knows?
No. The irony of getting -10 versus +2 for respecting their wishes. I'm your leader still, though. Blah, blah, blah. Can answer some more questions.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Why did you want to leave the crows exactly?
Well, now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
So, you're simply bored. You didn't have a choice to join the crows?
To be truthful, I didn't even know the crows existed when I joined them. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased, for 3 sovereigns, I'm told, which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder, and if you do poorly in your training, you die.
And that system works?
Of course. You compete against your fellow assassins, and those who survive are rightfully proud of it. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. It gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
So what is it you fancy exactly? You sound like you've been spoiled.
I certainly hope so. I have earned the crows a great deal of money, and none of it has come easily. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
Uh-huh. You think that will change, and when you get the first chance to betray me, won't the crows eventually find you?
Eventually can be a very, very long time if one plays one's cards right. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Zevran disapproval. Alright, whatever, I don't give it.
Here I am.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Do you actually enjoy being an assassin?
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared, the authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses, even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
Of course I do. You've never killed an innocent?
Now there's an interesting word, innocent. How many men do you know who can claim to be truly innocent? But if you're talking generalities, such as children and relatives and bystanders and such, never on purpose. But it happens. It's unfortunate, but death comes to us all. If not me, then some wasting disease, or a fall down the stairs, or at the hands of a darkspawn. It's all relative in the end.
Excuses.
Death happens, as we like to say, and when I get paid for it, death happens more often. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed, the pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
I take no pleasure in killing.
It is not pleasure, per se, nothing sexual. It is more a sense of satisfaction, a feeling of power. Does that make sense? No matter. There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules, oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
A handsome elf like you, I could think of a few things. Why not? You can do whatever you'd like.
Whereas I am content merely doing what I happen to be good at. It's a talent that not many come by honestly. I don't see why I need not pursue it. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Oh no, not more Zevran disapproval. I actually need to... God, we just find so much garbage. Wait a minute. What's Liliana use, weapon-wise? One-handed and a shield. That's right, she's not a dual wielder. Better or worse? Worse. Yeah, that Oath Keeper is strong. General clothing. What is this? Whose outfit is this that we stole? Iron ring. Expert. Oh my god. Inventory is gonna fill up with shale crap. I got nothing. Yeah, okay.
Here I am.
There you are. Can I answer some questions? Care to answer some questions.
Oh, this should be good.
Tell me about Antiva.
Oh, you wish to know about Antiva, do you? The only way to truly appreciate it would be to go there. It is a warm place, not cold and harsh like this Ferelden. In Antiva it rains often, but the flowers are always in bloom. Or so the saying goes.
And it has assassins.
Every land has its assassins. Some are simply more open about their business than others. I hail from the glorious Antiva city, home to the royal palace. It is a glittering gem amidst the sand, my Antiva city. Do you come from someplace comparable?
Bro, I'm just sitting here watching Wynn in the background do literally nothing. I'm not from any glittering gym, no. Of course, my mother was better than any gym.
You have me there, indeed. I, for one, can make no such claim, as I never laid eyes on the woman. You know what is most odd? We speak of my homeland, and for all its wine and its dark-haired beauties and the lilo flutes of the minstrels, I miss the leather the most.
What? Now that is odd. This I have to hear.
I mean the smell. For years, I lived in a tiny apartment near Antiva City's leather-making district, in a building where the crows stored their youngest recruits, packed in like crates. I grew accustomed to the stench, even though the humans complained of it constantly. To this day, the smell of fresh leather is what reminds me most of home more than anything else.
You sound like you've been away from home forever. That's a little bizarre. There's leather everywhere.
It reminds me of all the
Oops.
idle pleasures I got up to in that little apartment. But yes, it's true. There is no accounting for love. Before I left, I was tempted to spend what little coin I possessed on leather boots I spotted in a store window. Finest Antivan leather. Perfect craftsmanship. But I was a fool to leave them. I thought, Zevran, you can buy them when you return as a reward for a job well done. More the fool I, no?
Last choice, I didn't even read. I accidentally pressed 3. I have my fingers on 1, 2, and 3. Right? I just accidentally pressed 3. Your home is still there, Zevran.
True, and it's a comforting thought. One simply never knows what is to come next. How could I have suspected I would end up defeated by a beautiful Grey Warden, a woman who then spares my life? I could not.
Now you're flattering me? Beautiful, is it?
I say you are beautiful because it is true. Should I not?
You should not. Don't bother. I'm on to you.
I'm not sure that that's the route I would take, were I to continue old habits, but as you wish. Now, if it is all the same to you, I would prefer not to speak more of Antiva. It makes me wistful and hungry for a proper meal.
More Zevran disapproval. Good.
Here I am.
We here farming that. We farm those.
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
No more questions. Good.
Here I am.
Something personal.
Oh, this should be good. What would you like to discuss?
Oh, nothing. Alright. That's Zevran done. We're done. Woo! How many runes do I have? Of what kind, too? Just have this one expert flame rune. Give it to Liliana, since we're taking her with us, and the Oath Keeper is still her best weapon. Sandal.
Enchantment?
Enchantment.
Enchantment!
Hey, yo. Okay. Can we do this? And we get our novice room back. Cool. Oh, right. I need to make her a freaking archer. Damn it.
It shall be done.
Turn in runes with a circle. Novice rune.
You are wise to invest in the effectiveness of your followers.
I have no idea what that's doing. Anyway, we can finally go and finish this damn DLC map. Me, of course. Loot.
Indeed.
Sten.
Yes.
Win.
Yes.
I was like, should we just not bring Win and just bring Zevran and have 3 DPS, but 2 of you will be melee? And it's like, no, because without Win, they're just gonna die. Or will they? Yes. Yes, they will. Back to the hut. Oh wait, but first we gotta use Liliana to go and open all the chests. Wait, what? I was just running around with this tab on. I didn't know that there was a door over here. Is there a chest out here? Yeah, grab that. Wilhelm's cellar. And what the hell is that? Also a cellar. Oh, that's where we came out at. Okay, okay. I gotcha. 22 strength. Better or worse? Way better. Infinitely better. You are not a light armor user.
It's done.
Longbow. Not bad. I guess we'll give that to you. Because they do want you to be an archer. No, a short bow. Dexterity. What is stat comparison? 5-7. Crit rate, a little better. Range, a lot better. Strength modifier, armor pin, much better. Yeah, this is a tier 3 compared to a tier 2. That's why. That's why. Yo, this jump was hidden. Splinter mail gloves. Sten does not have gloves. I know that. Or helm. Take it. What the heck is this? Wilhelm Special Brew. How did I miss that? Yo, do it, girl. A gift. Huh. I mean, it's a DLC gift. I imagine it just goes to the DLC character. But you never know. Yep. Okay. We brought Liliana to deal with all the traps, potentially.
Why won't she come back, or at least yell out? I don't understand!
Can you tell me anything about the defenses?
Not really. We never came down here after my father died. My mother was too frightened. The barrier was supposed to keep most people out, and those who got past it dealt with whatever lies ahead. I can only imagine what my father was doing that he needed to be so careful. I'm not sure I want to know.
What do you remember about the golem?
Almost nothing. It used to be bigger, I think. Aside from that, it was just a walking statue. Father said it talked, but I never heard it. Mother tried to have it destroyed, but no luck. I think that's when she sold the rod, but no one ever came to claim it.
Can you tell me anything about the defenses? Can you tell me more about your father, Wilhelm?
I was so young when he died, I hardly remember. All I know is he was a fine mage and a healer. What he needed this laboratory for, or why the Circle of Magi let him be out here, I honestly have no idea.
Blah blah blah. I'll see if I can reach her. I don't have time for this. See if I can reach her.
Please hurry!
Alright. Ready when you are. Yeah, I need to delete a bunch of these saves. Jesus.